I'm Mike, a technical product marketing manager at Forward Networks. In today's video, we will introduce another well-known data type at NQE. That's lists. Before we get started, let's revisit a few NQE clauses we've learned in previous videos. For each, iterates over a list of data, where restricts or filters the data to the conditions you care about, and select determines what information is included in the query. When they are used together, this syntax structure becomes iterate over an existing list, restrict the data to conditions I want to see, and return some data for each of the items in an existing list. Or in code form, for each device in network devices, where all I want to see is devices that are Cisco ASAs, I want to return a column of device name where the device name is, and a column of OS version where we're going to show the OS version of device. So when we click execute, we see we get the two ASAs that are included in this snapshot and the OS version that they are on. Like with all other well-known data types in NQE, there are a series of functions that you can run on lists. We will look at a few frequently used ones here. Length is one of the most frequently used list functions. It will return the number of items in a list, and it is especially useful if you are trying to understand if a list is empty or not. So for example, if we wanted to see how many interfaces these ASAs have, we could, should be number of interfaces, we could pass device.interface into the length function, and when we execute it, we see that there are 6 interfaces. We can use mathematical operators like plus to append two lists together and minus to remove items from one list that also exist in a second list. We will see this in a bit. In and not in operators as well to find specific items that are in or not in a list. You'll often need to compare one list to another or find items that exist or do not exist in a list. With this, we are introducing a new qualifier called let. Let lets you write more readable code by avoiding duplicated expressions inside of your queries. We will look at let more in an upcoming video. Some basic list comparisons that you can do are compare if the two lists are the same by using the double equals operator. When we run this, we can see that these two lists are not the same. The order is not the same of these two lists. We could compare if the two lists are the same, ignoring the strict order. So what we're looking at is, are the two list lengths the same? If so, we return true. If not, we would have returned false. We could use the minus operator to see if a item exists in list A that does not exist in list B and return that. And when we run this, we see that 1 exists in A but does not exist in B. To find if an item is in a list, we can use the in term to see if it's in a list. So is 1 in A? That's true. Now if we wanted to say is 3 not in A, this would return false because 3 is in A. Taking in all that we just learned, let's ensure that we are staying within what our supported versions of code is for a specific vendor. In this query, we have a list with a single item in it that is our supported version of code for Arista devices. Now we want to take this and check to see if the version of code matches what we're currently running on the device. So what we're looking at is in our violation, if this is added to verify, what we're going to do is we're going to compare the OS version with what is in our approved OS. And if the OS version is not in approved OS, the violation will return true. And if this is added to verify, this will launch an email, or with an integration with ServiceNow, we'll spin up a ticket to let you know that you do have a device that's in violation. So let's execute this, see what we come back with. So we get a listing of all of our Arista devices with all the versions of code that they're running. We can then take this and filter based upon the violation column. So if we look at violation true, we see that one device is returned that is not running our supported version of code. So we have an easy way to run and audit our devices to make sure that we're running the correct version of code on our devices. This was just an introduction to lists and what could be done in NQE with them. As you can tell, lists are a very powerful data type in NQE that give you another tool in your tool belt to get the information that you want from your network. What have you done with lists that have made your life easier? What have you learned about your network by using lists? Let us know over at community.forwardnetworks.com. Thank you for watching and have a great day.